Morning. Thanks for joining us. Really good to see you.
Pleasure, Nick. Thanks a lot. I thought my time would come along sometime to sit in the hot seat.
Yeah. Your time is now.
Yeah.
So, Grant, you are what I'd consider a property guy through and through. You have an intimate understanding thereof, and you've been, I would say, extraordinarily successful in the property arena, focused mainly on developing industrial property. And of late, you've now ventured down the path of residential investment. So what's led you to this?
Basically, I developed a lot of industrial buildings in Johannesburg. They were very good. If you hold them over a long period, I think you can do well with gearing, okay? But after a period of time, it can become, or if you hold too much, it can become illiquid. So residential is a smaller asset that you can get in and out of, I think. Especially that's why I liked Opportunity Capital's opportunity.
You know, Grant, you've got property investments in the UK, mainland Europe. You've obviously got some in South Africa as well. You are, just with our chats together, you are very bullish about the Cape in particular, and this is where you've got some of your investments. So what is it the Cape that draws you?
Basically, you know, if you're still living in South Africa, whether you've got to be careful you read too much of the media, but if you look at all the other provinces, I'm going to refer to other provinces first before I come back to your question.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but the other provinces have got challenges, you know. So the Cape, I spoke to somebody from Nedbank Property Finance 2 days ago. He was saying to me that all the other offices are quiet. The Cape and George are the most vibrant offices. So it's the only province, I think, that is still functioning properly. Hence, I think there's more growth and more opportunity in the Cape.
From our interactions, you read a hell of a lot about investments in property constantly. You're watching videos, seminars, you keep up to date with things globally. So if you just put your general investment hat on, where should people be looking at investing at the moment?
Look, I don't think it's easy at the moment, Nick. I think the world's in turmoil, so it's quite tricky. Just before I go into that, I mean, I was chatting to an investment guy just at the gym the other day for a mate of mine about to it. He was saying he's actually bringing some of the clients' money back into South Africa. You know, globally there are opportunities, but there are also challenges. So it depends on where you put your money.
We love property, but we can't be too blinkered about what else is out there. And you do research everything.
Well, whether maybe I'm too focused on property, friends would try and get me into equity, but property is what I know. Personally, I think there's other liquid opportunities, hence I call your opportunity more liquid. Okay?
Yes.
I think people are nervous right now. The equity market's dropped by 30%, but then people say this is a good time to get in. It's a difficult one there.
Yeah, and I think you've got to be very astute to know when to get in, when to not, certainly in the equity market. And it goes back to what you said. You know property, and I've been an advocate of this for a long time, is invest in the arena that you get to know really well, because ultimately it comes down to a bit of skill. It's not just listening to other people. You need to develop a skill within a particular arena, which is exactly what you've done. What is it that eventually gave you the comfort to proceed after that lengthy due diligence?
Well, I think it's important to kick the tires and actually meet you and see the time you're willing to take with your clients and actually take them around the site, see that they invested. I went to meet your attorneys knowing that you had security over a unit. Look, anything can go wrong in investment. I'll be aware of that. But sometimes you make the mistake to rush into things too quickly because it's what somebody tells you is meant to be good, instead of actually going and looking yourself, speaking to other people, knowing that you felt comfortable to give me 4 or 5 references, said phone them, that, you know, with confidence to say, well, go and talk to them. That gives any investor, I think, a feeling of, well, you've got nothing to hide. Let's go and see what they all have to say. They all came out positive.
So we're in a period now where, as you said earlier, the world's in a bit of turmoil. We are moving in a high inflationary environment. So how should that be influencing people's investment decisions in general?
Look, I think it's a very interesting subject. I wish I studied economics to understand it better. Okay, the inflation rate that they say here at the moment is close to what I read, and maybe I've got more time to read it, say 6%, okay, or 5.5 to 6%. But is that the real inflation rate? I don't know, because the increases that are coming through on petrol and that maybe are higher. Okay, so that's, but inflation here is lower than it is in Europe or in America at the moment, where it's 8% there. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you are living in Europe, and sorry if I'm jumping, but if you're getting a 4% return, then inflation's at 8%, you're in trouble.
Exactly.
If inflation's 6% or 8 or 10, and you're getting 16 or 18, you're in a good place.
Yeah. If you're living here, you still need to generate some money here, because this is where you live and play.
And not only that, what I've learned the hard way is when you go offshore, the promises and you're going into a whole different playing field, and there's things that are sold to you which don't pan out the way you actually think it would be.
Yeah.
You're completely out of your comfort zone. It's exciting, but it's also testing.
Far from the action.
Yeah, it's.
I don't actually know this. We haven't spoken about this, but are you an advocate for diversifying investments? And if so, do you see this investment that we offer, or these investments we offer, as quite a good part of someone's portfolio? Should they have a reasonably diversified portfolio, then adding this as something onto that?
Yes, I do very much so, because whether I like the fact, yes, I'd say this should be combined with a portfolio of, if it was here locally, if it's fixed property or whatever people like to do.
Yes. You speak about the liquidity of these investments. Well, of course, they're not liquid at the time of investing, because once you're in a cycle, for example, then you can't get in. It's not liquid from that point of view. But what's important, Grant, and you brought this up, is that you get exit cycles every 12 to call it 18 months. So at least you have that capacity, and that's what you're referring to as being liquid.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Because the way I've tried to structure things is to try and have liquidity events every 1.5, 2 years, so that you know, because you can't also see in the future.
That is a good way to look at it, because in this uncertain environment that we're in, it's very hard psychologically for people to start looking too far ahead, because they're concerned about what's coming around the corner.
No, that's what I'm trying to say to you, because at the end of the day, if you just think about it logically, what people have had the last 2 or 3 years, I think they've been scrambling for liquidity.
Grant, it's been such an awesome pleasure getting to know you on this investment journey. I love chatting to you. I like you visiting us and talking about investments for a couple of hours, which we do. And I'm looking forward to many years of the same to come. So thank you very much.